poverty to you?
Now, if you're feeling a little bit motivated, it's time to maintain it because you move from one TEDx speaker to another.
Yes.
For the past 3 years, Wesley Chan has been serving as a trainer and coach to youth across Malaysia. His biggest vision is to see people inspired to do what they do in their life and career with passion and happiness. He strongly believes that youth should be led to unleash their utmost potential to strive towards fulfillment and purpose of life. So please give it up for Wesley. Welcome to Vbuzz.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, Wesley. But the question is, I mean, you're a person who tries to help people, especially youth, find their purpose in life.
Yes.
Early on, did you know what your purpose was? Did you know what your career was going to be?
Of course, I didn't know. I started as a student in UC Technology Petronas. It was during one time, it was the public speaking class. You know, that we all had to do a 7-minute presentation.
Yeah.
So many of my friends did things like having more cafeteria, more car parks, more hostel. So there I was being the last speaker. So I presented on the topic, The Secret, the law of attraction.
Okay.
Yeah, the law of attraction. It's about positive thinking.
Yeah.
So there I was, I stood there, and of course I was a bit nervous at the time. So then I delivered a 7-minute speech, and so around 40 of us then were stunned, and they all went quiet. Stood behind the room was my lecturer, his name is Mr. John, and he said this one thing I will never forget. Wesley, if you fail to be an engineer, be a motivational speaker.
Wow.
So that was the first spark I had in me at the time. Yeah.
Right. A teacher to see something in you is something very spectacular. I think teachers see the tiniest bit of potential, right? But would you say you were a very driven and focused teenager?
Yes, I am, because I've always been wanting to achieve more. I did like a few clubs and activities, being president, project managers. I played taekwondo for Malaysia as well.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, so there I was.
Russians like, oh, better not mess with
So I'm always finding what's the X factor that I can just push myself beyond the limit. How can I just bring out my potential in me? So that was the quest in me all the time. So yeah.
But there must have been some motivation. Did you get it from your parents or a relative? Well, where was that spark from? Because I mean, it's fantastic to see people at such a young age know what your drive is all about.
Yeah.
Would you say, apart from your teacher, were your parents there to play a vital role for you?
It definitely was my parents, because they have always been pushing me to just achieve more. You know, just push yourself more. Be it whatever I do in studies, in sports. So just be the best of who you can be. Yeah, so
that is fantastic, and that is a really good example of parents motivating the kid, basically.
Yeah, it's very, very important. So you were an engineer, you were studying to be an engineer, as you said just now. So what kind of, steered you to becoming a motivational speaker? Was it just that spark? What else after that happened?
It was a series of events. My biggest quest was to find out what makes people successful. What is their chemical X? It was inspired through Powerpuff Girls. What were the purple So it was the chemical X.
Yeah, good cartoon, by the way.
Yeah, it was my favorite back then.
Hey,
so I always had that quest, what makes people successful.
Yeah.
So and then until I graduated, of course it wasn't an easy path, because I told my parents that I don't want to be an engineer. It was a tough time for me. Even my dad, he actually chased me out of my house. So I think that was a very tough moment for me. But I think back then, I think it's the hunger to find out what works for people. And to me, it has always been me that I want to inspire and help people more.
Right.
So that's my dream.
You and I share quite a similar story in terms of making a decision not to follow through with engineering and moving on. But it must have been a tough experience and a tough period of time. How did you survive that little moment over there?
I think to just keep going. Yeah, knowing the fact that, because at a point of time, what happened was this: I went back home. It was 1 o'clock midnight. So and he was there in the living room. He's short, he's plump, but with a stern face. Son, you sit down now.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my god, man. So then he asked me, can you tell me honestly what happened to your job offer? Now what I didn't tell him was this, because I rejected all my offers, but I didn't tell my dad. So it was until that point of time. So I said, I've rejected all of them. Then he was quiet, and then he stood up, he banged on the table and just chased me out of my house. At a point of time, of course, when we are caught in situations like that, when we are lost, we have like devil and angel in our mind. Devil that say, you're stupid, you can't do it, just follow what your dad say. But at a point of time, I have this angel, the voice that says, stay faithful to your dreams. So that's what I did. I think the key is to just keep moving on. Obstacles are there for a reason to make you tougher.
Yeah.
So just keep moving on and just chase your dream.
Right.
That's what I
We're
believe.
gonna
Yeah.
find out where your, overcoming your obstacles led you to your current dream. We're gonna find out more about Wesley after a quick commercial break. We'll see you in a bit.
Do you believe in superheroes? Yeah! I'm sure when we were all once little kids, the boys and girls, you used to admire your favorite superhero. Can you tell me who's your favorite superhero? And let me just give you a few examples where to pick. I'm sure you are quite familiar with this. Okay, for those who have no idea who are these people, either you're too old, don't tell me who you are, or you're too young. Now, can I share with you who's my favorite superhero?
Sugar, spice, and everything nice. These were the ingredients chosen to create the perfect little girl. But Professor Utonium accidentally added an extra ingredient to the concoction, chemical X. Thus, the Powerpuff Girls were born. Using their ultra superpowers, Blossom, Bubble, and Buttercup have dedicated their lives to fighting crime and the forces of evil.
And I still remember as if from yesterday, when I was only 7 years old, every single Sunday morning we have Powerpuff Girls series. And I can still remember it's 10 o'clock in the morning. And every time I ask my mom, Mommy, can you tell me what's next? She'd be like, I don't know. And I asked her, how do I get it? She couldn't tell me the answer. And I went into school. I asked my teachers, could you tell me what's chemical X? I have no idea. I went to engineering school, University Technology Petronas UTP. I asked my lecturers, can you tell me what's chemical X? No idea. And there was one fine day, back in the year 2008. It was exactly this place. It's in Chancellor Hall, and I was walking past, and it was during the convocation ceremony. And I peeked across the window, and I saw, wow, there is something called as Chancellor Award.
That's Wesley Chan in action, by the way. And you know you're doing something right when you gave a talk at TEDx. But more importantly, Wesley, you said that, what is that, your chemical X? What was it for you?
At the point of time, I was walking near the Chancellor complex. It was the convocation ceremony. So what happened was, there was a girl on stage. She was receiving her Gold Chancellor Award. So that time I was just in my first year, and I saw, wow, so there's such thing as Chancellor Award. Chancellor Award is the best student in UTP of the whole convocation ceremony. So there I was, and I found a spark in me, and I learned how to dream.
Wow.
So at that moment I told myself, you give me 4 years time and I'll be there taking that award.
Wow.
And true enough, after 4 years, I got the award from Tun Mahathir, the Gold Chancellor Award. Yeah.
Talk
Dreaming
about
big and accomplishing it.
yeah, someone pointing and saying that is mine. That's amazing, man. So before we took a break, we were talking about how you went home one day, your dad kicked you out of the house. What happened then until now when you've set up Vision Alliance, which is your training company? So what happened in that time frame, and how many years was it?
Okay,
since
so
then?
after the event, that event was back in year 2013, early of the year. So after that, what I did was I gave talks in schools, universities and colleges. It was a year after that, it was in 2013, but late of the year, and my dad called. So I picked up the phone, so I thought he was going to scold me again. So I picked up the phone, but he was crying. And I asked, Dad, why are you crying? And he said this one thing, I want to say sorry, I want to apologize for whatever I've done on you. I've been too harsh on you. And he said this one thing, whatever you do, I will always be proud of you. So that was the moment that I really broke down. That I realized that parents do support what we do, but in just different forms of appreciation.
Yeah.
So after that, I persisted giving talks. So for the past 3 years, I've impacted more than 30,000 people.
That's
In
fantastic.
over 40 to 50 schools, universities, colleges, TEDx, corporate companies as well. So that's what I've been doing, yeah.
That's amazing. So is that what you do with Vision Alliance?
Yes, that's what I do with that. So in this company, we help youth to discover and realize their passion, their purpose, their value, their vision in life.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds big, but our main point is to follow your passion, at the same time work hard.
Yeah.
It's not just to dream and just to wait things to happen for you, but it's to just get it out there.
Yeah.
You know, Wesley, I mean, that's fantastic. And there's so many motivational speakers out there, internationally as well, who give a speech, but then they don't follow through with their own, preachings and so on and so forth. And
Correct.
people are bankrupt. who tell you how to save money. You know, I won't mention names because I don't want to get sued. But when you go and you give your speeches to the youth, how do you incorporate that with your daily life, with the same principles?
I think first, foremost, what drives me to be a speaker, that point of time after my dad's incident was this. Because back then I was really okay, you know, achieve some results here and there. So I wanted to share what I've done right with the youth. At least they can take some strategies. Now, I don't believe in just pure motivation. I believe in giving them strategies that they can follow and then they get their desired results. So I started giving, you know, like about my story, my experience and things like that. So what happens next is that applying what I teach has always been second nature already.
Yeah.
Because you always tell what you know and in a way that you will apply in your daily life. So I think that's what I did. Yeah.
With your own life as well?
Yeah.
It sounds so easy and simple.
Like I just did it.
Yeah.
But it actually is kind of that simple. I mean, all the people, you know, entrepreneurs and whatnot say to follow your passion, you gotta just get up and just do it.
Yeah, correct.
It's as scary and as simple as that.
Yeah.
But do you feel young people inspire other young people, or do you feel like it's age, wisdom, and experience that inspires young people to look up to someone who has that?
I always believe in this. People inspire people. It doesn't matter of their age, their wisdom, their background. We all can learn something from someone. So it's like just like be a kid in a candy store.
Yeah.
In a candy store, just grab as many candies as you can. But unlike candies, learning has no expiry date. So just keep learning from anyone, everywhere, at any point of time. Be it from a small child to someone also. You can learn things how to be or how not to be. It's just how you look at things. So that's what I believe.
When we were looking at that video of you giving the speech,
Yeah.
I mean, something which I think we have experienced is talking to kids. They are a lot more engaging. You're also a motivational speaker for adults as well.
Yeah.
In your experience from the past, who's a lot more easier to engage and follow through with your thoughts and ideas, the youth or the older crowd?
I think both are equally engaging as well. It's just how you build rapport with the crowd. So one thing about adults is that, because when I first started giving talks to adults, it was a huge challenge for me. I'm like, 20 plus, or like their son's age, so who are you to tell me what to do? So I think the main thing is to believe in your message. Is to believe that you have a gift that people can realize. You know, it could be follow your passion. So it's just to believe in that and let the message resonate in the crowd. So if you ask me, do I convince people other than me? I don't. But you just believe in your message that you share. So that's what I believe. Talking about follow through, I think adults and youth, I think both are equally the same. Just how you make the training and talks interesting for them.
Right.
I mean, we all learn we all learn in the same manner. Learning is in the doing. It's not just to talk, but let them to try on the spot or to simulate the experience there.
To engage with them.
To engage them, yeah.
Right. So you inspire many people, Wesley, but who inspires you? Or what inspires you?
Everyone, in fact, if you ask me, everyone and everything inspire me as well. Of course, I have coaches as well. My coaches are Dr. Billy Quack and Kit from Billy Quack International, BKI. So yeah, they taught me a lot of things, especially in the field of NLP, Neuro Linguistic Programming. So yeah, inspiration-wise, I think everything and everywhere do inspire me to just push further. Entrepreneurs. In fact, I'm writing a book right now, so like I'm meeting people across different industries as well. So every time I speak to people who are successful, it gives me that chemical X in me to want to just achieve more.
You mentioned a few names, the people that have influenced a few things in your life.
Yeah.
But if you could think back to a time where these are the things that there was a trademark, like you said, your chemical X was that medal to be the best student. But in your working life, what was that one moment when you realized, okay, fine, I'm actually doing what I can do and I'm achieving my goals?
This was one experience that I want to share. It was during the TEDx. It really gave me a very big spark moment. It was after I delivered the talk. So after I said thank you and then I walked down the stage. There was this one guy, he's from Egypt, a UTB student. So he walked to the back of the room and he was almost in tears. So he came to me and just greeted me and shook my hands. I said, is there anything I can help you? I said. So he was almost crying and he said this one thing, Wesley, there are not many important days in my life, but one of the most important days in my life is to get to meet you in person. So these are all, I think, because when you know that you make a difference in people, it gives you more motivation and boost to even do it more to more people out there.
Yeah, that's where your fulfillment comes in, right? When you make a difference in someone's life and you make an impact. But where do you see yourself, let's say, in 10 years down the road? Let's say it's been since 2013, 2 years. Only 2 years and you've touched so many people's lives already. What about 10?
I won't put it 10, but my next milestone will be next year. I'm going to be a certified NLP trainer, that I can certify practitioners in the field of NLP. And of course, one of my biggest dreams is to be the youngest NLP master trainer in the world. So hopefully that's going to happen in 4 to 5 years from now.
Right.
So that's my next milestone I want to hit. Yeah.
What's the youngest now?
According to my coach, I do not know the specific age, but if I follow through what I'm doing right now, I'll be the youngest.
Awesome.
That's good.
That's the most important thing.
And speaking about age and youth, the one thing that you would like to share with anybody watching out there, the youth of Malaysia, if you had one message to them, what would that be?
I think it's good to follow your passion, but at the same time to work hard.
Yeah.
I think don't just expect to just follow your passion and wait things to happen. But in fact, you create the opportunity. You have to just get out there and just do it. So that's what I think that's the most important part, is to just do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Lastly, before we end it, but not least, why do you do what you do, Wesley, every day? Why do you wake up and still motivate people?
The biggest inspiration to me is this. I get very motivated knowing that I'm making a difference in people. I always have this starfish story in my mind. It's a story about a little boy at the beach. So, after the sea, then they will swim. So starfish will all be there stuck in the beach. So what happened is that, so this little boy will just throw one by one into the sea. And an old man said, "Little boy, what are you doing? What are you trying to do? So what difference are you making? You're only throwing one, there's so many thousands out there." But the little boy picked up that starfish and said, "I'm making a difference to this one." I think it's to know that your work is meaningful and making an impact. That at the end of the day that you're helping people. That's what is driving me right now. That we know that we are touching lives and changing people's lives.
Yeah. One by one.
One by one at a time.
Wesley, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Truly
you so
inspirational.
much.
And you achieved that goal of yours of being the youngest trainer out of the world.
Yes, we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Right,
Thank you
coming
so
up on tomorrow's show, by the way,
Yeah.
we chat with award-winning actor Siti Farah Abdullah.